All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, happy band tonight. Happy band, everybody. Welcome, NorCal Sports Network. Golden State Warriors get a big win tonight in Houston. 105-98. Let's thank our sponsor, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group for all your legal matters. You got a personal injury issue, you know, a family member or a friend that's been in an accident and maybe they just need to talk to an attorney, give Chapman Law Group a call. 415-613-9483. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. Don't get ripped off. Call Chapman Law Group. Let them help you. Won't cost you a thing. All right, everybody. Big win, Lou Marston. Warriors look like they might try to give it away. And if they had lost tonight, that would have been a complete meltdown disaster. That would have been like the night they lost
to Houston when they were down, when they were up.
No,
31.
not that one. The other night when they, right after the Butler trade, but Butler wasn't playing. They had back-to-back. Then who were they playing before they played the
Chicago
Lakers?
And then
they played was it Utah? They lost in Utah?
Yeah, Utah. Yeah.
Yeah. They were up by 10 or 11 with 3 minutes to go and lost the game. And I was thinking, if they do this again, back-to-back losses, I think they're done because you can't allow that to happen. So this is a big win. And you know, Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy, the big veterans, all said we're playing. They knew they had to win this game. You got a whole week plus. They don't play again until Friday. And Steph is going to play a little bit on Sunday. He's not going to break a sweat, in my opinion. I don't see him breaking a sweat. He's not in the three-point shooting contest.
There is no three-point.
Yeah, there is.
What? No, because they wanted to do the co-ed one with Kate and Clark.
Well, there's not that one with Curry, but there is the regular 3-point that Buddy Hield. Maybe Buddy, huh?
Yeah, but,
Buddy
is. Sorry.
Yeah, Buddy's in it. So let Buddy. Maybe Buddy can hit the side of the barn. I mean, Buddy Hield, if he's not hitting his 3-point shot, he should not be on the floor. He just get him off the floor. Moses Moody is better. I'd rather see Moody. I'd rather see Pods even at this point than Buddy Hield. I think Buddy Hield, when Kuminga comes back, is going to start getting used to grabbing some pine meat a little more often. I wouldn't. I mean, he's got to hit a shot. If he's not hitting a shot, if he's taken 3 or 4 threes and he hasn't hit one, time to sit him. Just sit him because he forces shots. So I don't know. That's my take. What'd you think of the game tonight?
Well, 2 things. First of all, if they would have lost tonight, I think the season would have been over because you can't go on the road to Houston. They lost earlier in the season up 31. They were up 24, totally in control. Houston looked like they were the ones that played back-to-back. They came out sloppy, slow.
They did. Lou, they did.
I almost go like, how has this team had the second best record in the league?
Lou, can you hear me?
Atrocious. Yeah, I heard you.
I know both teams
played back-to-back. No, I understand that. But they were like the ones. And
oh, I see.
Yeah, and I think today I had to give credit. And you win as a team, lose as a team. Without Bozo and Moody, who carried the Warriors the first half, they were responsible for getting the big lead. Unlike usual, where it's Draymond and Steph tonight, Bozo and Moody played awesome in the first half. They were the ones that made the Warriors where they're at. Yeah,
we got a timeout here. we're going to have to come up with another name, Bozo. NorCal Sports Network and its management cannot effectively allow the name Bozo to still be used on live broadcasts, because I think he's graduated from Bozo. He was hurt. I think he's playing much more effective ball. Is he an all-star? Not anywhere close. But I think he's playing effective basketball. You got to admit that, Lou.
I'll call him the Bronco then. The Santa Clara Bronco.
There we go.
Plus, I didn't get the memo. Sorry, I thought I was going to get it during the break, so I never saw the memo. I blame the producer for not getting it.
Yeah, I would get on the producer. He did not get the memos out.
But I think the Bronco came through, and tonight might have been he earned his paycheck for the whole year. I mean, that's how well he played. And the other great thing about the Bronco tonight, he actually played in control. You know, he did everything, it seemed like in slow motion, where he was having fun and he wasn't forcing anything. And then I thought Moody on the defensive side got some huge boards. And, you know, it doesn't always show how a player plays on the offense, but he was tough. He was in there getting the boards. And, you know, they were the difference. Without those two, if they would have sat those two, the Warriors would have lost tonight, because they were the reason why they were up early in the first half, why they built the lead. And, you know, you can't always go with Steph every game. I mean, obviously, you know, Houston came back. And I thought what made me proud, if you're a Warriors fan, is they didn't blow the lead. It was 25. It got down to 2. They never tied or got the lead, and the Warriors then built it right back up. Unlike last night, where they just were always trying to catch up. So, you know, I thought it was a good win. Good win against a good team.
That happens a lot in the NBA. Guys will make runs.
NBA is all about runs. I agree.
It's so close, and then they're gassed. But with that, we welcome in the great Frank Red. Hey, welcome, Red. How are you?
I'm pretty good. That was a great victory. How you doing?
Yeah, it was much needed victory.
Good.
Now you go in, you can get rested up. You got 8 full days of rest. They're fortunate. Some teams play next Thursday night, and the Warriors and some teams play tomorrow night in the NBA. So
no, not tonight's last night.
Not tomorrow, was it?
Yeah, tonight's last night.
Maybe I looked at it wrong. But yeah, maybe I was looking on the other end. So it's a nice little break for the Warriors. Now, I thought there was games tomorrow. No games tomorrow. Okay. So the first games coming out of the break are on Thursday. No, there's actually a game Wednesday, the 19th. Charlotte plays the Lakers on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, there's several games, and the Lakers have a second game, a back-to-back. They got to go up to Portland. But the Warriors don't play till Friday in Sacramento. So, that's 8 full days of rest. I would think Kerr just says, all right, everybody off, and let's meet Tuesday at the arena. We'll get in a little light workout, some plays for Jimmy, start putting in some, getting him used to the offense, probably practice a little bit Wednesday, and who knows what they do on Thursday, but today's Thursday, so they're going to get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 full days off. Some guys will be doing some of the stuff during the All-Star stuff. Some of the younger guys will be doing so it's kind of like a little bit of conditioning for them on Saturday or whatever, whenever they do it. So I think it'll be good for the Warriors. What was your take on tonight's game, Frank?
Not really surprised. I would have been pissed off had they lost, because they played so well. This game was not unfamiliar to last night's game. The difference was Dallas is a better half-court team than Houston, and they were able to execute. You go back to last night when Dallas needed to get a shot up, they had the ball in Kyrie's hand, and he was able to get a shot up. Tonight, the only way Houston scored was off of the Warriors' mishaps, and offensive rebounds, because I mean, they didn't have Van Fleet. He didn't play. But even with him, they're still not a great half-court team. What they do is they just beat the crap out of teams and overwhelm them and kind of hold on to victories. But the Warriors are a terrible matchup for Houston because the Warriors are, a top 5 half-court offensive team in the league. So I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that Steph played. Once I knew he was playing, I was like, they're going to win this game. Yeah. And then, you got a really good performance out of Pods tonight.
Yes, we were talking about that just before you came on. I told Frank, I told Lou, I said, timeout. He didn't get the memo. We're no longer calling Pods Bozo on the team.
I love it.
So he's now referring to him as Bronco.
I love it. I mean, you know what? I mean, he's an interesting player because tonight he looked like he belonged. He didn't look like he was trying to belong. He looked like he was a player who deserved to be in the top 8 on a team that can win a playoff series. And I was really impressed by that because these are high leverage moments. I mean, he is essentially the antithesis of Buddy Hield. Like we talked about last night. If Buddy Hield is not making a shot, he cannot be on the court.
No.
He had a 3-minute stretch in the third quarter that was like shooting ducks in a barrel, man. It was so obvious that that's a horrible analogy, but I guess it was so emphatic. The reason why I used the ducks in the barrel is like they can't get away. It was so visual that this is something that you should not do. Buddy Hield in the third quarter for about 3 or 4 minutes was god awful, and finally Kurt got him out and he didn't put him back in.
I'm reading a comment. New Orleans is not going to put Olynyk on the buyout market. That's tough. I was hoping the Warriors might have a shot at him. Hopefully Atlanta puts Larry Nance Jr. on the buyout market. I think he fits the Warriors perfectly. He's 44% from 3 this year. He's over 50% from 2. He gets down low. He's an enforcer. He reminds me a little bit of the older school power forwards that you don't see too many of them. And that's the Warriors could use a guy that could come in. I mean, guys that can, I want to see somebody that's an intimidator that gets down in there and will, if somebody needs to be put into the second row, that's okay. We'll take a foul as long. The Warriors don't have anybody like that but Draymond, and if he does anything like that, he's got to be careful. They might toss him.
Right.
I want to see. I'm not literally suggesting somebody throw him in the second row, but you know what I'm saying. Somebody that's a bruiser that's in there and is willing to, the elbows might come up a little bit. And
I mean, there's some irony though, because Looney is actually a very physical player. He is.
Right.
I mean, you don't get offensive rebounds like that unless you are a physical player. But I understand what you're saying. I don't think we can go back to the 1970s, but Nance is a physical guy who's not afraid to take a hard foul. He's a good defensive rebounder. He's shooting 44% from 3. He's a low mistake player. Yeah, I mean, he fits the culture really well. He does.
Yes, he would be the number one guy. I think there's some other guys out there. I just get concerned. Post is another guy. If his 3-point shot's not falling, he's not much use either because he's not getting your rebounds because he's 25 feet out the basket. Right. He's not getting any offensive rebounds. Defensively, he gets pushed underneath the net.
He does.
I mean,
he's not very strong. Not.
They just barely kind of. You see guys just nudge him with their hips, and he just kind of gets pushed and moved, and you're not going to get a rebound under the net.
No, he kind of lives a bad place too.
Yeah.
He'll get knocked around. He'll just kind of stand, almost like he's expecting the referee to make a call for him. It's like, dude, that's not going to happen. He said, you got to go get the ball. And the other thing about him is he plays too high. He plays entirely too high. He's standing straight up in the air. I was practicing with my girls team this afternoon, and I was saying, ladies, you have to widen your stance in the post. You're going for rebounds. You got to widen your stance, and then you got to elevate and go get the ball. So Post is going to learn. I think he's going to get better. But, yeah, you're right. That's why, I don't like Curry to bury guys. He's buried Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah.
I don't like that, man. I don't like that about him. But give Kerr credit. I mean, he nursed them to a victory. I mean, who thought that they would go 3-3 on this road trip?
Yeah,
a 4, you know. Yeah, I mean, not many people thought they would do that. So, I mean, a 3-3 is like going 5-3 on a road trip. They had tough teams.
Hey, baby, what did I tell you was going to happen last night? Tough to beat a team twice in a row. Don't light the beam tonight, baby. What'd I tell you last night? And all those Kings fans, where are you tonight, Kings fans? Saying they're going to whip on the Pelicans. I said, no, not going to happen. 2 nights in a row, same court.
What did Zion have, about 40?
Let me take a look here.
I don't even know if he played tonight.
Oh, he didn't play tonight?
He was off.
Wow. Let me see. Box score. Okay. Kings, were led by Zach LaVine for 32, Monk 24, Sabonis 22, DeRozan 20, and then for the Pelicans, 43 for McCollum. Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, Zion did not play, and neither did Kelly Olynyk. I like that Jordan Hawkins kid.
No, he's gonna be a good player. Answer this question for me. Between Zach LaVine and Monk, how many assists did they have combined?
From LaVine assist, he had 10. Monk had 9, 19.
What? That's impressive.
Yeah, that is.
That's very impressive. Defense just terrible, I guess, huh? You can't let McCollum score 43 points. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
CJ, 43 at this stage of his career? Come on. That can't happen.
Wow. What did he do? McCollum, 7 from 12 from 3. So he hit 21 of his points from 3. He got to took 25 shots.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You can't do that.
Wow. So, yeah, there you go, guys. So if you take a look at the actual standings now of the NBA, the Warriors are just behind the Kings. Well, no, they're gonna even up here. That hasn't been made final. So the Kings and Warriors both 28 and 27. There we go. So we'll get that. Maybe if we refresh that, will it show up? Not yet. Okay. So I'm wondering if on the score, was there any other games tonight? Dallas wasn't playing tonight?
Dallas without their big three. They won again. Thompson didn't play and Kyle. Yeah, neither of them played, and they still won.
Kyrie didn't play?
No.
Wow. That's impressive.
Jazz are beating the Clip. Oh, it's still the third quarter. Wow. Okay. Mavericks beat the Heat. Wow. Tyler
Jay Kidd's a great coach, man. I'm telling you, Jay Kidd is a hell of a coach. His team plays for him.
Let me see. Who did not play for Dallas? Wow. They did not play Irving or Clay. Wow.
How many did Christie have, though? Christie's good.
19 points.
He's good. Solid
I like
player.
him. Yeah. Watch him be kind of the unsung hero of the whole trade. Luka and AD, and it's Max Christie that goes on to be the guy that we'll see.
I mean, he got great measurables. He's like 6'6", two-way player, can shoot, good free throw shooter, smart.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if Anthony Davis comes back healthy and stays healthy, they'll be a force in the playoffs.
They're my pick.
I have money on him too, Frank. I got him at 55-1, 45, 55-1, but I've got about $30-40 on him. So I also threw a little money at the Warriors when it was 10,000-1. So
wow.
So $10 wins me $1,000.
Really?
Yeah. on the Warriors to win the title. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say this. Not that anybody can't lose, but I mean the Thunder are losing to Minnesota 116-97, and I mean they're playing in Minnesota. It could happen, but I think that's why they don't scare me in a series. They just don't. I mean, and they have their whole team now. They're good, but they shouldn't be losing by Minnesota to 20. They're the best team in the league. But maybe they're already, figuratively on the airplane going to Hawaii or something. Who knows?
Yeah, some of the players. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's, when you come back after the break, it's going to be a mad dash. What do the Warriors have? 28 games, 27? What's their record now? They're 28-27. So that's 55.
27 games.
27 games left. So they basically, if they can go 16-11.
Yeah, 44.
44, 16-11. That was a big win tonight.
This is a gigantic win tonight.
Man, there's so many games that they should have won. Games like the Utah game in Utah when they're up 10 with 3 minutes to go. A couple of other,
They got that back, though. They got that back because they beat Milwaukee. They got that back.
Yeah.
Without the big man.
They got to win some. They've got to. What's their record in these what they call clutch games? They played like 30.
They're 18-17 now.
Okay, so 35 right there. Okay, so they're playing just over 500. You gotta, if let's say there's 27 games left, and they played how many? They played 55, and they've had 35. Okay, hold on here. Let me do the math. 35 divided by 55. 63.6% of their games have been clutch games. All right, so they got 27 left. Let's just say 60% of them are clutch games. That's 16. They've got to be 9-7 or 10-6. They got to be much closer. Well, I'd say 10-6. If they get in 16 more clutch games, they need to go 10-6 in those games. What do you guys think? They're playing too many clutch games, and they're basically, you said 500, and they're one game over 500 in the standings, and they're one game over 500 in clutch games.
Yeah, but they're a different team now, though. I don't have a problem playing clutch games as long as they execute. The games come down to execution. That's what it's about. Right. And I mean, they've been executing more than they have not been executing over the past 2 weeks since they got Jimmy Butler. So, I mean, I would prefer that they have some easy wins, but this is the Western Conference. They're playing against good teams. That ticket coming out of the All-Star break next Friday against Sacramento, that's going to be the hottest ticket in the NBA. In Sac on a Friday night?
Yeah.
With the same damn record?
Yeah, both 28-27.
That's going to be a ticket.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game, man.
Should be fun, and we'll be right here on NorCal Sports Network after. Yeah. We might even have to I might even do a little in-game. I don't know. That could be a fun one. But Ryan says, Lou, that the Warriors are 17-17 now in clutch games.
Well, he must have forgot about last night because that was a clutch game. The Mavericks game.
Yeah, I haven't counted I don't even know. Is there a stat on that it shows somewhere in the standings? Where do you see that?
Well, I saw it on the telecast tonight. I don't remember it though. It's either 17-17, 18-17, something like that. Just like Lou said. I mean, it's close.
Oh, Ryan says no. He saw the stat from today on TV.
Okay. All right.
After the game. So let's say they're 17-17.
Yeah.
So they've played 34 of their 55 games. 34 of their 55 games clutch. That's still 61.8. So I'm saying still stands. If they have 16 more games that are clutch games, that's 16 out of their next 27, 60%.
9-7 at least. They need to go
at minimum. But I would think they could go 10-6 if this is a team that really wants to get to that 44 wins.
Hey, Dan, can I say something about tonight that we didn't talk about yet? First of all, Houston's a pretty good defensive team. And if you take Green's 4 turnovers away, the Warriors on a back-to-back on the road against a very physical Houston team, they only had 6 turnovers. That's why they won. And Frank, before you came on, I said the same thing. The Bronco boy deserved his check today, and this was his first game where he actually looked like he belonged. He didn't actually overdo it. He got people involved, and he played smart. And that's where what he did tonight, we've all been expecting since day one of season 2. Maybe he was injured before the injury. You just don't know. But mentally, tonight was his best game, and hopefully, he can be like this the rest of the year. But, I mean, you go 6 turnovers on back-to-back nights on the road, that's a major, major thing. And that's why they won.
Great point. And I also think that, I love how Jimmy Butler's already getting in his ear. Telling him and say, yo, dude, I need you to do this and do that. Like I said, man, I root for everybody. And have you noticed that Pod's play has improved the less flamboyant he's been? The less dramatic he's been with the referees? Just play basketball, dude.
Yeah.
You got the model. You got Stephen Curry doesn't do all those histrionics. He's one of the top 10 player of all time. You don't see him doing that crap. Just go out, play your game, and win games and make your money. If you want to do a headstand when you sign your $80 million contract, go ahead. But right now, just play your game.
Yeah. And you mentioned 6 turnovers, Lou. They had 10 tonight.
Yeah, but if you take Green's 4 away.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
10
still
overall, you take very
productive. Yeah. If you can stay 12 or under, Warriors are going to win a lot of the games because that's been their Achilles heel for years is the turnover. And the pass by Steph at the end of the game.
That was terrible.
Oh, my gosh.
That was god awful.
Yeah. Just stop it. Stop trying to make a home run when you just need a bunt. A sacrifice bunt will do. Yeah. Even a 24-second violation, shot clock violation is better than turning the ball over. When there's a minute and a half to go and you're up by 8 and you got the ball and he comes trying to that stuff's got to go away. Another thing I noticed tonight, I wanted to get your opinion on this. Does this improve? Does Kerr say anything over the break? Jimmy has driving down the lane. He's got a chance to do a layup, contested layup, but he can power up over a guy, and he fires it out to Draymond for a 3. I think we're going to have to work on this because that's not an ideal, even the analytics or whatever, that does not make sense to get the ball to when you. It's like he had a pretty much.
Was that the shot Draymond made, or did he miss it?
No,
they missed it.
He missed it.
All right.
Yeah, and then Oh, go ahead.
No,
I just want to see. I think he's passing. I love his passing because he moves the ball. He finds the open man and he puts it on. He has a lot of zip on his passes. They're not like Curry's passes that are kind of float a lot of. If you notice, Jimmy doesn't do a lot of one-handed passes. He does two-handed, over the head passes, chest passes. He's not trying this cute little, No,
he's a fundamentally sound player. He played for Buzz.
Yeah.
At Marquette, who's at Texas A&M now. He's a stickler. Juan Toscano Anderson played with Jimmy Butler. I don't know if he played with Butler, but they both played for Buzz at Marquette. He's a fundamentalist, man. He's a tough ass coach. So he's got good coaching.
That's very good too, but I think Jimmy also probably needs to, he'll learn over time who to kick it out to, who's wide open and who not to. Probably guys that you would kick it out to, obviously Steph, but maybe Buddy if he's in the game and he's on a roll. Moody's shot is a little inconsistent still. Sometimes it looks good. And what I love about Moody, and I'm loving about the rest of the team, they're starting to. And Moody was doing this before Butler. He was one of the only guys that would actually take it to the hoop with some authority, and he wouldn't care who was in his way. He was going to figure a way to get it, bank it in. So I like that about Moody, but I'm seeing more of it now. The players, I think the biggest impact Jimmy's having on these guys is they're seeing like, hey, let's go to the rack. Quit shooting the dang threes.
Yeah.
I mean, how many threes did they attempt tonight? Because normally it's 45.
40,
tonight,
41.
Okay, 41. I'd like to see it closer to about 35 to 37, as long as the 2-point percentage is way up. Because from three tonight, they shot 26.8% and only 39% from the field overall. They were horrendous even from the field goals. They were 35 of 89, 39.3%. Wow. But I'll tell you where they're improving, this team, is the free throws. They were 89% tonight, 24 of 27. And every game since they've added Jimmy, they've won the free throw numbers. I think. I'm not sure about last night. It was close. I think they still had more free throws than the Mavericks, but this has been really good. Jimmy is controlling the tempo of the game. And what do you think, Frank and Lou? What do you guys see in the second half there? Do you see 27 games left, a week break coming up? Do you see Kerr starting to orchestrate or really try to bring Jimmy into the fold more, where they run, not only do they give him more plays that he learns through the offense, but also give him some ISO plays?
You take it, Lou.
Well, two things I wanted to bring up. You talked about the free throws. I can't remember the last time we've shot in 27 free throws on the road. And I think that's all because of Butler. One thing I wanted to comment about what Frank said is I think I saw it again tonight. Santos and Moody made mistakes, like dumb fouls for no reason. And I think, the team can only hear Green so many times. But when you got Butler saying it, it's getting corrected. You can't have the same guy telling you it's wrong. And again, I don't know if Green maybe says it one way, but with Butler, you saw it today where Green looked at one of them like, dude, what are you doing? You're going to blow this game. And as soon as they had a timeout, Butler went over, told the guy, said, hey, this is why Green's upset. Make sure you don't do it again. And let's go. Let's win this game. And I think, Butler has really shown he can go inside. And the other thing is, one thing I like about Butler, he's the first guy down on offense every single time. And that's making the team go quicker. And if you remember the start of the season, the Warriors were always going 90 miles an hour, it seemed like. They were playing, as you guys said, 13, give me 6 good minutes. But Butler, he never seems to run out of energy. Maybe him being suspended, not playing, he has this excess energy. But I think his maturity on the floor of how to win playoff style basketball, which to me right now, almost every game is a playoff game with the Warriors because they're in contention. That's what's really helped him. I know the offense, but his leadership on the floor, off and on, because if you ever watch, he's talking to these guys, especially the young guys. Hey, because, like I said, Green can only be negative so much, but you just see Green do it. And then what does Butler do? He says, okay, no problem. He sort of becomes, good cop, bad cop. And it's really, really helped. But I think, Dan, you bring up a great point. We were used to shooting so many threes. We never got to the line. And what happened is when we did get to the line, we were shooting 60%. So it was ineffective. When you shoot almost 90% from the line and you get over 20 times, you're going to win the majority of the games. And that's going to be the difference if they continue to play like this on those clutch games. You're saying 27. Say they have 27 left. They get to the free throw line and cut their turnovers. They're probably going to go 10-7 in those. They're going to go 15-7 in those. Because that's, as Frank always says, you got to play smart. You know, there's a way when you go on the court, you're going to play to lose or you're going to play to win. But you can sort of just see the confidence is sort of turned around a little bit. Well, with Butler and, you know, Green just doing his thing and Looney trying all that there is definitely a different feel to the team. The only thing I think we need is these young guys to keep it up the whole rest of the season.
Yeah.
You know, I know some of them are going to be tired, but you got to just do that.
Before we go to Frank and get his question, I have two quick questions for you, Lou. One, you seem excited that the Warriors won, and I know you're a Warrior fan, but we have this bet that the Warriors, you have them at under 44. Frank and I have them over 44. If they're
44.
43 and a half. So you guys 44, you win 43.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if they're sitting on 43 wins and they're 43 and 38, and it's the last game of the season, and they need that to get in, and they need that to get into either the playoffs or the play-in, who are you pulling for, Lou?
It's only $44 three ways. That's not that big a deal. I mean, I just won more than that on the Super Bowl, so I'm happy. I'd rather the Warriors go, and I have to pay my fee. It's
all right. There we go. So we got.
As I say, the Giants are right around the corner.
Yeah,
but Frank, what we talked about, which was sort of crazy, is say they're 43 and 28, and they have one game left, 38, and they don't. And 38, and they don't need the game, and they don't play Steph or them because the game means nothing to them, and they sit them all the last game of the season. It's like, well, it's Portland, you know. We don't, or I forgot who the last game of the season is.
Clippers.
We don't need them, you know. The Clippers.
Yeah.
You know, the Clippers need it. The Warriors don't. They're locked into the 10th seed. You know, you never want to put a player when the game means nothing on the line. But you know, it would be funny if that happens because that's something that we came up with last night. But you know, I want the Warriors to make the playoffs because then we have more of these.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
Postgames.
I'm a big fan of cheesesteak factory. So if I lose, I want to share my level of cheesesteak factory with Lou. So it's all good.
There we go. And my last question before we get back to Frank, I did not know, Lou, that you were the goalie at the U of A. Ice hockey team. Yeah, I didn't know you were.
This I actually got at an alumni thing. I don't know if you know, they're called the Ice Cats. U of A, when I was there, it's club sport. We're not NCAA. We're like more Division II. But U of A was always like a top 5 sports teams because, you know, all the kids from Chicago, Northern, everything, they wanted to play hockey somewhere and they weren't good enough to play Division I. So they played sports. But yeah, no, I like this. I actually got all 3 colors. I got white and then I got the red ones for home games, road games.
There we go. All right.
Try to support the alumni.
So what was I can't even remember the question now. What was the question that I asked you?
Whether it was 2, one that I played goalie at U
No. That you answered for the Warriors. The one I was going to have Frank answer.
Oh, okay.
What was the question that when I gave it to you?
Well, you asked too if it was the 43 wins.
No. Before that, before your comment. I don't know. You remember what it was, Frank?
I don't. Lou gave such an eloquent and detailed answer.
Yeah, I know.
I was mesmerized by it.
I had something to do with the way the Warriors were playing.
Oh no! I got it. I mean, it was Lou commented about like playing smart, and I don't necessarily remember what it was. But the thing that I would say is, like even like Guy Santos. I mean, it's hard for me to watch pros that don't have high basketball IQs. I mean, he hustles his ass off, and I root for him, and he's definitely bought himself another year. But he does some things on the court that's just mind-boggling. I mean, even like in the third quarter when they're making the run, they got like 3 or 4 offensive rebounds over him. The ball's like right there. And he's kind of like watching the ball. I'm like, dude, go get the ball, box out. Or like some of these ridiculous fouls. You know, like guys are going towards the baseline and he's like hipping them. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, you know, and I'm like, dude, you're a pro. I'm not a pro. I'm just somebody on the internet. But when I watch the game, the expectation I have is everybody's aligned and they're going to play the right way, because if they do, they're going to win most of these games. Because, listen, here is an oxymoron. Stephen Curry's underrated. He's underrated. That's how good he is. He's 36, almost 37, played a tough game last night. He says, I'm going to play. And guess what? As long as he's in the game, the Warriors are fine. The Warriors go left when he's on the bench, in spite of these ridiculous passes that he might throw once or twice a game. But when he's on the court, even when he misses, we feel good. I mean, think about the 4 to 6 points that his teammates got because the big man is hedging to double him, and they just slip the screen and they go get a layup.
Yeah.
4 to 6 points a game. So I'm just amazed by that guy, man. I mean, I feel honored to be alive to watch him play his entire career at the NBA level. It's amazing.
He's phenomenal. He's definitely, without question, Frank, as you mentioned, top 10. And when it's all said and done, a lot of people probably have him top 5 right now. And there's an argument when his career is over that he will be a top 5 player. I mean, the question is, if you're looking at a point guard, are you going with Magic? Are you going with Steph? All those things. I mean, but the way he keeps shooting and his free throws, and I'll tell you the one area that was a weakness for him early on in his career, even in the first couple of championships, was his defense. And he's really picked that up. He's become a solid defender.
They got a lot better. No question about it.
Yeah. And, the one thing that upsets me about Curry, not about him in particular, but the officials, I don't know why he never gets calls. I mean, he got some calls tonight and he looked shocked, like, finally got to the free. I mean, he's getting just blown up down there. I don't know. These officials sometimes, I mean, the one out of bounds play where the ball's going out of bounds, goes off Looney, but the guy, as Looney goes to grab it, the guy grabs his arm.
That was terrible.
That was
terrible.
I mean, what is the purpose of whatever the rule is about a foul in the replay that caused the ball to,
That was terrible.
Hey, let me grab the ball. Geez.
Well, referees hate that call. They hate that call. And I mean, it's almost like the higher power was like, you know what? This is a logical thing to do. So the ball goes out of bounds, but the guy's being fouled. And the referee's like, okay, yeah, I got that. I mean, they call it, 50% of the time?
Right.
That's it. When it's obvious.
Yeah.
Green was grabbing Looney's arm.
Yeah.
Like he was doing the Texas two-step, the waltz or something.
Yeah, unbelievable. Let's answer this question and then we'll get out of here. Last night was a long show. Tonight
Yes, it was.
So Ryan, our producer, says, can we talk about why the Warriors seem to do really well against the young teams in the league, like OKC and Houston and some of the other teams, but we really struggle against some of the other older teams? Frank, what's your thought on that?
Great producing, Ryan. That was awesome. Like I said, I mean, veteran teams execute better. Young teams don't execute in the half court as much, and they haven't played as many high leverage moments. So, like, when the games don't matter, you run up and down the court, the crowd's yelling, the ball goes in. But when the game matters and it's on the line, you got to execute. Think about this. It took a Herculean effort from Kyrie Irving to beat the Warriors last night. If the Warriors play, 27 other teams last night, they win. Kyrie had 42 points. Bang, 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 bang. So I think it's because young teams, they just don't execute as well because they don't have the experience. They have the talent. They have the bravado. but the nuance of the game and the frame of reference of I've done this 1,000 times. They don't have that. They have to go through that process, which is why I think OKC is going to win a series or two, but I don't think they'll be the Western Conference representative for that particular reason.
Yeah, it's all going to be about matchups, isn't it? Who advances? Like if the Warriors are fortunate, like I think they could beat OKC if they had to play them in the first round. Like if the Warriors ended up being the 8th seed and got OKC, that could be a 6-7 game series where the Warriors actually could win that. If the Warriors get Houston, I don't think there's any way they could unless Houston fell into the 7th seed and the Warriors got the 8th. I think the Warriors could beat Houston. The couple teams that might give the Warriors trouble in the West, to me, I always would have said the Lakers with AD, but I'm not. That's going to be curious. I want to see that one. I'm not so sure. I think that's closer to an even matchup now. Even matchup now that AD's gone. The toughest ones that I see with the Warriors could be Denver, could be Memphis, and the Clippers.
Yep.
Those are the three. Those are the three teams I really don't want to see. I think the Grizzlies are still younger, but they've also they're very tenacious, and they have a chip on their shoulder too when they play the Warriors.
They're just good. They got a lot of talent, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, those are the teams right now. Who is the 2 seed in the?
I think Memphis is.
Is it Memphis?
Yeah.
Okay, so Memphis is the 2 seed, and
I think Denver's the 3rd seed.
Yeah, Denver's the 3rd. I think Houston falls out of the 4th. I could see the Lakers maybe passing them. I'm surprised that the Clippers haven't been able to really, but the Clippers are kind of interesting to me. Kawhi is he just playing now and then, or is he? How's he
just
doing?
been inconsistent. I mean, like he had a great game last night. He had 28. But here's the thing about the Clippers. The Clippers are old, man. Their best players are old. Yeah. Even Kawhi at this point, and Harden. So, I mean, some games they have it, but some games they don't have it. And when they don't have it, they become very vulnerable because they can't make a shot. They have the Warriors number because they're so smart defensively. The Warriors get 0 back cuts. They get nothing against the Clippers. So
Ty Lue coach team,
Yeah, so they got to shoot the ball really well to have a chance to beat the Clippers because they don't get anything easy in the half court. Yeah.
Wow. It'll be interesting to see what happens here at the end because Dallas without AD and Lively and Gafford for a while, they've got to hold on, and they made some gutsy plays just to win the last 2-3 nights, their last 3 games, to be able to go into the break, and they won their last 2, and what did they beat Phoenix the other night by 1? Was it, or did they lose to Phoenix? I think they lost to Phoenix, right? Yeah, they lost to Phoenix the other night. But Suns are falling out, and I think that's the team that's probably going to be the outside looking in. What do you think, Frank and Lou?
Go ahead, Lou.
Well, I wanted to get back, and I'll be real quick about what Frank said. And you and Ryan asked, why do we lose to young teams? Basketball experience in the clutch. We lose to these old teams because they've done it 100 times. They know what to expect. When you get the young teams, they think they know, but until they experience, you don't know. So I wanted to bring that up. The other thing about the Warriors is that they're going to make the playoffs. They got to beat the division. They're 1-9 right now. So the second half, we're going to play. They got it when they take care. They got to take care of Phoenix. You got to bury teams like that. You got to bury teams like Portland. You can't go, 1-9 again, or the Warriors aren't going to do anything. So you got to beat your division. And then just one prediction that has to happen for the Warriors to be successful: they got to stay healthy.
Yep.
None of the major guys can get injured. So if they can stay healthy, then it's going to be an exciting second half of the season. And I'll just end it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Kuminga comes back, hopefully soon after the All-Star break. We haven't heard anything. I'm wondering if it's a few games still afterwards, because he's going to have to start practicing like the week, like whatever they meet Tuesday. He's got to be on the practice floor, and he's got to get, at least a 3-on-3, but they usually like him to go 5-on-5 for a bit, just to evaluate him. So we'll see. But there's your standings right there. I think I could see San Antonio passing Phoenix, but we'll see. Phoenix looks like a real mess. That they have botched ever since they had in the 22 season, they had a home game against Dallas, game 7, to go to the Western Conference Finals, and Dallas ran them off the floor. I think they lost by 40 or 50. You remember that game, guys? And Phoenix just haven't been able to figure it out with, supposedly, they had Bradley Beal and Booker and KD. KD's all of his trios, whatever you want to call them, have not worked out, other than, the first one, it was just getting started at OKC. They got to the finals with Harden and Westbrook, but it did not work well in Brooklyn, and it hasn't worked well in Phoenix. I wonder if KD will be dealt in the off season. I wouldn't
Greed don't pay,
surprise
Dan.
me.
Greed don't pay.
It wouldn't
He
surprise
left for
me.
greed, all about money. Thought he was better, and everywhere he's gone, it's been a disaster.
Let me ask you this, and we'll close. It's the off season. KD feels like, hey, Suns really didn't want me. They were looking to deal me, maybe. He asked for a trade. And he says, I want to go back and retire a Warrior. Do the Warriors trade Jimmy Butler for KD?
Yes, they do. In a nanosecond.
And can you see that scenario happening in the offseason? Crazy stuff happens with the NBA. Just crazy.
Yeah, I can see it happening. But you know what? The Warriors probably have hurt feelings also. But because KD might frame it like, "Yo, I didn't want to do it during the regular season. It wasn't anything personal, stuff like that." And then maybe they'll be receptive to getting him back. But KD's still a really, really, really good player. But his impact on the game is not what it used to be. It's not. Because I'm going to say this, though. It isn't what he's doing on the court. It's his ability to really lead and galvanize his team, to inspire them to be bigger than themselves. The fact that Kevin Durant is on a team that has a record of 26-28.
Yeah, that's something.
When he has Devin Booker on the team, clearly he and Brad Beal don't get along, because he wanted Brad Beal out of there. He's pissed off that Brad Beal didn't waive his no trade clause.
And he had a losing record when he was with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
2 to 3 years.
He's a great player. He was a perfect fit with the Warriors. He didn't have to do the heavy lifting. All he had to do was go out and play. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful for him, because he was obviously a major contributor towards winning, but he did not have to be the number one guy emotionally. And I don't know if he's ever been in a situation where he felt comfortable doing that. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, I could see a scenario like that happening. What about if you had to get Kuminga involved in a sign and trade, because if you wanted, right now I think Butler will make a little bit more than KD next year. Butler's going to make 55, KD's at 51. There's always a way to work it, but it should be interesting. I don't know. But I don't know if KD, but some people said in the chat, now I would do this if you could keep Jimmy. And here's where the sign and trade could come in is, let's say Kuminga makes close to 40. What do you think he's going to get? 35 at least.
At least 35.
Okay. Let's say he gets 35, maybe 40. And then you package him with Draymond to Phoenix, and you get KD and say somebody like Grayson Allen, who's making $15 million. So Allen gives you another real shooter, and KD, Jimmy, and Steph.
That would hurt Steph. Steph doesn't want to play without Draymond. He doesn't want to. He'd be pissed. He just doesn't want to play without him. And they're on the same timeline. And I mean, Draymond's a big boy. Draymond would go in a second because, the owner's a Michigan State guy. And Draymond's mature. Draymond is looking at his next move post playing basketball. So, I mean, he's not going to get upset with his billionaire friend. He's going to embrace that opportunity because it's only going to put more money and more opportunities in his coffers.
Yeah.
You can't take the 4 rings from him.
Right. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, any final thoughts, Lou, before we get out of here?
Nothing. We're in the Bay Area. Dan, you've never seen rain and wind. We had 5 earthquakes today since this morning. Frank, I don't know if you felt any of them.
I didn't feel any of them.
2.7 to 3.7.
Yeah, but
just everyone be safe. Everyone be safe. For you guys, make sure you guys take care of your ladies tomorrow. Have a good Valentine's, but be safe driving in the rain. And most importantly, just relax. That's it.
All right.
There we go.
And try to enjoy the NBA.
That's right.
All-Star stuff.
Valentine's Day tomorrow. Wow.
I mean, we have a big audience. How many people got listening to this?
Not a ton tonight. Last night we had over 150. Tonight
9,000. We got 9,000 going.
Yeah. I wish that would be
all
great.
Right. I would not just
And we have a little Giants talk. We'll do a little bit tomorrow. Gosh, it's Valentine's Day. We guess we're going to do a show on Valentine's. I don't know. My wife's sick. She got what I got, so that sucks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll have Ned Coletti with us Tuesday night. Everybody, if you're watching for Giant stuff, Ned Coletti will do an 8:30 show California time. That's when Ned will be available. But look for a video tomorrow. I recorded today on Marco Luciano, and the title of the video, something about I'd like to see Marco move to first base. That's not going to happen, but the Giants see him as maybe being a left fielder. But I don't know which team they're planning on him playing left field for because they got Ramos. So I don't know what they're thinking. I thought the idea was to try and move people around. So, it's called spacing, kind of like in basketball. You try and get your best shooters on the court. Try and get your best hitters on the field. Right. Can't have 2 left fielders. But that's the Giants thinking. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here with us. And we will catch you tomorrow at some point, and take care, and we'll let the band play us out. Have a good night. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Lou.
Take care, gentlemen.